Hi guys, Roddy here. So for this video here, it's going to be another Nether Quarry and it's going to be the Nico Nana boss today. And I'm going to tell you, this boss is actually ridiculously hard. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the player can't hit SSS. Okay, if you don't have the core unit that you actually build, for example like Batsby, for example like Chloros, if you don't have these two units, then the only option for you is going to be Dark Team. Because for today's Nico Nana boss, the condition to fight this boss, you have to use all the same elements. So if you're using blue, your whole thing has to be blue. If you're using green, then the whole thing has to be green. So if you don't have Chloros, which is the red unit here, then you're not able to use this team. Then your other option is going to be Dark Team or either going to be a Blue Team. But Blue Team, you need Batsby to actually make it work. So if you did not train Batsby or you did not train Chloros like me, because let me show you, because I have Batsby and Chloros, but I did not build them because I thought I don't really need them, right? So I'm built, and also this has I'm built, and I don't have the lattice to invest on them at the moment, so I'm not able to play the blue team and red team. And blue team and the red team is actually the easiest to trigger the boss. Then so for this video here, I mainly cover for the dark team and able to hit 1000 score, but it's very RNG and it's very tough. Okay, so let me go through how it's going. So first of all, you need to know about the Nico Nana mechanic, which is this one here, the Garden Field. Garden Field here, you need to hit Nico Nana 12 times in order to let her become exposed. Then when you're exposed, the damage taken increased by 100%. So your main thing around fighting the Nico Nana is about hits. How many hits you're able to do on Nico Nana before your Lilium nuke the big damage. Because for the Dark Team here, your only DPS is going to be Lilium. Lilium will be your highest DPS, and I believe most players actually build Lilium other than Chloros and Batsby, right? So the boss here got 2 mob, and that 2 mob here can actually stun you. That's the RNG part. Then the rest of the kit here doesn't matter too much other than like reducing the boss speed. So let me go through with my team comp today. Especially this mob here, he can actually stun you. So a small RNG part, but not too big of a problem because you're gonna use Chachi the God here to apply immunity for your team. And if your Chachi the God RNG is good enough, you will actually get the S3 pretty often. So the team comp I'm gonna use today is gonna be Lily, Plume, Lilium, and then Heinrich and also Chachi. So it's very LD heavy because I'm using Dark Team, right? So basically everyone is an LD unit because you're not gonna use the blue team. But if you're going to go for blue team, let me go through with it as well. Blue team wise, you're gonna need Inferno, you're gonna need Dosukyomi for the speed up buff, you're gonna need Rosa as a sub DPS, and then you're gonna need Nahor to actually freeze the other 2 mob and also apply defend down on the boss as well. And then the last slot is going to be Batsby if you're actually going for the blue team. Blue team is a lot more easier compared to the dark team, and the red team one is going to be Chloros, just basically hitting as many as possible to make your Chloros keep hitting the boss. Okay, then now let me go back to my team comp here. So how this team comp work, every single shell have to be exactly the same. Okay, this shell is actually tuned. So let me go through one by one. The first one is going to be Lily. So Lily here, just build as fast as possible. The faster the better. Alright, just Swift Rush and Swift Smite. And you're going to need Jackal Guard. So Jackal Guard here to get additional 1 hit. Okay, because you want every time that the Nico Nana takes her turn, then she will refresh the shield block, which is 12 hit, right? So you're going to need Jackal to help hit one more additional 1 time to actually help you remove the shield as consistent as possible. Alright, then the other one is going to be Plume. So Plume here build as fast as possible as well. Then the module I'm going for is Swift Rush, Swift Smite. Just focus on effect accuracy and build as fast as possible. If you can't, slightly slower is totally fine. But mainly it's an effect accuracy because you only have a few attacks on the boss, right? You don't want Plume to actually miss the defend down, and the weakness you want to actually land the defend down more consistent. So accuracy plays a very important role, and you must use Dark Moon. I already did the calculation. The Dark Moon 2 hits here plays a very important role. If you're using Jackal Guard on Plume, then this technique won't work. Okay, so you need the 2 hit on Dark Moon to actually remove the shield from the boss in order to let your Lilium spam the S3 with a 100% damage taken increase. Alright, so Dark Moon here is needed. Doesn't have to be inside, but get some speed here is good. Alright, then after that is going to be your Heinrich. So Heinrich here is going for Revelation. Why Revelation? So Revelation here, because I mentioned, is all about hits, how many hit you're gonna hit on the boss. So Revelation here, when you do damage to the boss using the Revelation additional damage, it counts an additional hit. So let's say Heinrich here is gonna cast an S3, and S3 here is gonna hit 3 hit. And every 3 hit here, because you're on crit, you're able to crit, you trigger Revelation. So Revelation here able to trigger 3 hit as well, which means it's a total of 6 hit coming from Heinrich. That's how I actually remove the boss shield. Okay, so you're gonna build Heinrich with a mixture of effect accuracy and crit rate. So I'm currently forcing him to go for Swift Rush. You can see I'm using 4 sets of Swift Rush here to actually force him to get a good speed range. And then I'm going for momentum. So momentum here to get the crit rate higher. If you don't have this momentum set, it's fine. Just that you have to go through a little bit more RNG layer, because now my Heinrich is 80% crit rate. So I have very high chance to consistent trigger the Revelation at the start of the battle. But without the momentum, you're gonna drop a little bit of crit rate. So you are around like 70%, which is still okay because you have the last word here to increase your crit rate. But overall, if you can maintain high speed, a decent effect accuracy and decent crit rate, then it will be all good, because you want your Heinrich to actually crit to trigger the Revelation, to trigger the additional hit on the boss, so you can get rid of the shield. My Heinrich investment is 114. Right, as you can see, it's 114, which is most of the player who is actually using Heinrich in PvP is actually investing 114 only, and they actually stop, right? So after that, it's going to be your Lilium. So Lilium here is your best DPS. Build as high DPS as possible. So I'm going for very high crit damage, decent crit rate. So your crit rate, you want to be around like 72%, that's the min maxing range. 72% crit rate, the speed doesn't matter, and very high attack. Because you're using Lily to actually push Lilium, to let Lilium take the turn and also the assist a lot often. So the speed here doesn't matter too much. So what matters is your crit damage, your crit rate to hit the minimum range, which is 72%, and high attack. So why 72%? It comes back to your Heinrich. So Heinrich here is able to apply 4 stacks of last word. So 7 times 4 is 28% crit rate chance free for your whole team. So your Lilium here, 100% minus 28%, which is 72%. So your Lilium here, minimum have to hit 72% of crit rate, which is mine currently is 76%, slightly higher, but it's totally fine. Then I'm going for 3 crit damage in order to hit the good DPS. So it makes my crit damage 417% with a good crit rate, range when a decent attack. I'm going for Foray, Keen Eye, and Foray H. And the shell here is definitely going for Tiger Yin to maximize the DPS output. Then the last one is going to be Chachi. So Chachi here is very important as well, because Chachi here is to apply the speed down and turn meter control the boss. So if you manage to turn meter control the boss, then the boss won't take the turn so often. So most of the time, the boss will not refresh the shield that fast, right? And also speed down reduce the boss makes the speed difference higher. The bigger the speed range difference, the more damage reduction you are able to ignore. Okay, then also immunity here plays a very important role, because you want to avoid the mob to actually stun Chachi or your other teammate. So you want Chachi to take the turn as soon as possible and spam the S3 as many as possible. Then also defend up here plays an important role to make your team survive, because you do notice that all the team unit here I'm using, there's no healer. Right, so the investment on Chachi is 455, and then the module I'm going for is a nice set of Swift Rush with a combination of Swift Smite and 12 set of Time Wheel. So you want the Time Wheel here because your Chachi usage is only for the immunity and also for the speed down. Your S1 here is basically useless. So you want Chachi to hope, you want to hope Chachi to actually trigger the Time Wheel set as many as possible. And then you want speed, so Swift Rush 9 set for the 20%, and Swift Smite 6 set for 15%, so basically 35%, and a little bit more free effect accuracy. But if you can't get Swift Rush and Swift Smite, then you just force 12 set of Swift Rush. Is totally the same thing. So let's say something like this. It's totally fine. You still get around the same speed without the Swift Smite, because it's still 35%, but you get a lot more effect accuracy here. Okay, cause you want effect accuracy to land the critical success. okay, which is this one here. Critical success is 55% of effect accuracy, so your effect accuracy you want to hit around like 180 plus, somewhere there, and build as fast as possible while having the effect accuracy. Effect accuracy have the higher priority to hit the minimum range, and the second priority is actually the speed. Then the shell here is going for Jackal Guard, so if ideally Jackal Guard you want to Swift Rush, Swift Smite and Time Wealth for the cooldown, but if you can't get Swift Smite, then Swift Rush plus Time Wealth is totally fine. Then the rest, you want to force the Time Wealth set to actually cooldown so your Chachi can spam the S3 and S2 more often. Okay, so how the turn order goes is Lily is going to turn meter push into Lilium, then your Plume here is going to hit 3 hit. Your Plume is actually doing 3 hit, right? And 3 hit with a 2 hit of Dark Moon, which is 5. And then your Handreach here with Revelation and Handreach S3 is going to be 6. So 6 plus 5 is 11 hit on the boss. And Chachi here is going to cast S3. So the Chachi and Lily is not going to touch the boss. Then your Lilium, when your Lilium takes an action, Lilium is going to cast the Tiger Yin to do additional 1 hit. So it makes it to 12 hit on the boss. That is exactly the enough hit to actually remove the boss shield, and the moment Lilium casts S3 is the maximum output to remove the boss shield damage. Okay, so everything is actually calculated in order the shield hit, and the rest of the RNG depends on how often your unit crit. Like for example, Henrich is actually a sub DPS, and then if you have more skill up, if you have better module than mine, then basically you can do more damage to the boss. And also how often your Chachi lands the speed down, how often your Chachi trigger the Time Wealth to apply immunity for your team to maintain the sustain. Alright, now let me show you how the team roughly is going to look like. So when you start the combat, Lily here will push Lilium. Plume here will do 2 hit, you can see it's going to remove the Garden Field, do another 3 hit, apply weakness and defend down. Henrich here, trigger Revelation, is total of 6 hit, so left 1 hit of the Garden Field, and your Tiger Yin is going to remove it, increasing your damage, the boss damage taken by 100%. So this is the perfect start. You can see it's already 200 points at the start. Then Lily here is going to reset your Lilium. Then all your damage here is going to try to remove the Guardian Field, but you can't really remove it. It left 2 hit, so it left 1 hit here, right? Unless your Lily here is actually faster to cut Lilium again and do the assist, or else you can't really remove the last shield. Or your Lily is actually going for Dark Moon, another Dark Moon, to remove the shield. Then that's another possibility to remove the second shield from the boss. Then you can actually do more damage. Then the rest here is really RNG. Just how many DPS you can do to the boss before the timer goes off, right? So everything here is already set up. The boss always gonna have 4 stack of last word. The boss is gonna have speed down. The boss is gonna have weakness and also defend down. Then the rest is how good your Chachi applies the Time Wealth to control the boss. If the longer you can control the boss with your Chachi S2, then the better the result. Okay, so basically that's how the whole run goes. But again, this dark team here is not the best team, so you might actually still suffer a little bit, probably not hitting 1000 score for the SSS. Really depends on how good your module is, and also how many dupes your Lilium actually plays a very important role. Like mine is a P2, right? If your Lilium is like P4 or P5, it's a lot more easier. Okay, you can see my Lily here actually gets stunned because the Chachi did not trigger the Time Wealth to apply back the immunity. So this kind of small factor will affect your final outcome from the result. Because if my Lily here did not get stunned, my Lily can actually push Lilium a lot more earlier and do the damage, right? But yeah, if you already have the same setup, you can try this team comp, but the result still depends on RNG. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down what you guys think about it, and hope you guys get a good result. Bye bye.